Welcome to Sineaters. I'm the Right Reverend Recording Ryan Richards.
John Nobles here, the artist formerly known as Chaos Jack. But, I'm 47 years old. I'm not very chaotic anymore. It's been way more evenings around the television than I do causing any chaotic events anymore.
Yeah, Limping Jack doesn't have the same call anymore.
Yeah.
We're at, as you can see behind you, Boca Chica's Taco House in St. Paul, Minnesota. And this is still regular St. Paul, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's the very beginning of East St. Paul.
Okay.
Like you go 4 blocks away, I think it's the beginning of East St. Paul.
There we go. And it's also my favorite kind of cheap taco, in the Twin Cities.
Well, I remember when I first moved here, this was the only Mexican market around. Was this when I moved here in '89? There wasn't all the Mexican markets you have now. You had to come to East St. Paul to get anything. Yeah, that was authentic Mexican.
Look at that. This is my favorite. They're the fried flour. It's a simple tortilla, ground beef, tomatoes upon request. I always request tomatoes. So. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, you were saying earlier, we were talking about wearing headphones while you're riding your bike. I'm very much against it because you can't hear the things around you.
Well, and cycle safety is something that I have an interest in. Not just bicycles, but also like motorcycles.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of awareness.
Yeah. One,
the rider has to be aware. Two, they have to be able to be perceivable. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, one of the issues with like I have a motorcycle. It's a '97 Kawasaki ZL600. It's a traditional cruiser kind of frame and body, but it has basically a retuned Ninja engine in it, so it doesn't make a lot of noise, unlike Harley Davidsons, which actually lose some efficiency just to make that noise. Yeah. And I understand the appeal of it, but as a sound designer, I can't have a bike that I need earplugs for. Mm-hmm. I always wear a helmet, and that offers me enough of a sound protection, usually from other people who got the loud pipes, who loud pipes save lives. Yeah. And those guys are usually, the ones that aren't wearing helmets. Suddenly they're concerned about, about the safety. No, the noise is for safety. The noise is for safety reasons. And then why don't you wear a freaking helmet?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, also, you talk about sound design. Something else I didn't realize, a buddy of mine who went to school at McNally Smith for sound, and now he's living in Baltimore, I believe. The last times I talked to him, his job was, in the new cars, like the BMWs and the Jaguars and all that. The engines are so energy efficient and they're so well made, they don't make any noise. And he was saying that when you're driving in a brand new BMW or a brand new Jaguar, you're not hearing the engine. You're hearing an MP3 player inside the car that's playing
the sound
of an engine, because there is no sound. And they were saying that American consumers wanted to hear the engine.
Yeah. Well, that's because you're like, did it stall out?
Yeah.
It was one of the big adjustments of getting used to the wife's Prius. Mm-hmm. I still drive it like a race car, but she knows she was married. She come from a family of race car drivers, so. But I value the efficiency as well. Right now, I got a 2014 Subaru Impreza Sport stick manual, all-wheel drive. Yeah. Replaced the 2001 Volkswagen Beetle that I had, and how I paid for the down payment for it was through Twitter.
Really?
Yeah. Me and my friends were early adopters of Twitter. Mm-hmm. We used it to figure out which bar we're going to be drinking at that night. And I remember I got I was actually on my computer when the tweet came up, and a friend of mine, Chad Valentine, said, let's meet at the CC Club tonight. I could really use a drink and convince all my coworkers are cyborgs. So as a joke, I just made another Twitter account, Terminator, and just had it follow him. Yeah. Him and Sarah Connor. Just as a joke. Mm-hmm. Fast forward, like, I guess 7 years later, They're doing a new Terminator movie.
Okay.
They realize they don't have the Terminator handle, and I have people that are constantly trying to get it off of me for years. Usually in a kind of a slimy way to get some kind of advantage on Schwarzenegger or something, or get close to him, and it's like, no.
Yeah.
But I met a guy contacted me named Ivan Asquith, who was the gentleman who put together the Veronica Mars, Mystery Science Theater 3000, and Reading Rainbow Kickstarters.
Okay.
Because he was being contracted by Skydance or Skyfire, the new studio, to try to get this down. And it was one of those things that I knew if I wanted to be a dick about it, I could be a dick about it. But he was such a good person to deal with, and he kind of like, I don't know, it's like, what do you want? I go, pinball machine. Yeah. I was like, I would have been nice to have a Terminator 2 pinball machine. But we finally came to a real nice negotiation, and part of it included a hotel room at San Diego Comic-Con for me and my very pregnant wife.
All right.
So my wife can no longer complain about me doing anything on Twitter because it did get us that nice hotel room and helped pay for the car that our child is transported around in, and I have a favor from Ivan to call upon later, you know. But I was just, and then that tied into MST3K. Which I had a big connection with this year because they had the Kickstarter to bring the show back. See, when I moved to Minneapolis 20 years ago, it was actually 20 years ago this month. I was excited to work at the Guthrie, but I was really excited to be closer to where they made Mystery Science Theater 3000. I have a weird history with that show, and it might be just because it was playing in the background of many of my first sexual experiences. So there's a certain amount of imprinting that kind of occurred.
True geekdom right there, yeah.
So I got a crisp taco, a fried flour taco, a red quesadilla, and a bean and cheese burrito. I don't think I'll be able to eat it all.
Same here. The rice is kind of disappointing.
Ooh.
Then again, I think I'm so addicted to salt that when there's not enough salt on anything, I think I actually don't even know what real flavors are anymore because of all the salt I put on stuff.
You take anything qualify as an alien creature in Star Trek.
Yeah. How much did you order here?
I ordered a lot. So
yeah.
I ordered more than I could eat. So.
Yeah, I'm not that hungry.
I asked the guy what his favorite was, what he ate, but he listed off the 4 items that he ate, and I go, I'll have those.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that chaos reign.
Yeah, I know you had it.
But this is why I came here. This is fried flour taco.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why I was surprised you have a Twitter account. I mean, but yeah. I've never really understood Twitter too much.
Actually, it's not that I have a Twitter account. I have like 20 Twitter accounts.
Okay.
What I do is sometimes when I create a character that I know I'm going to be working with for a while, I make a Twitter account for them. One, to make sure that's available and that it's not already being done.
Yeah.
Because if the character does take off, you want that Twitter account.
Yeah.
Two, I also use it as a way of making character. I have dialogue between the different things.
Yeah.
You know, because I have different characters. It's part of the work in sincere satire.
Yeah.
Because I made it. Because if you can make a joke about something, it gives you some control over it. So I've been making parody accounts.
Okay.
So I have a parody of Sean Spicer, the U.S. Press Secretary.
Okay, yeah.
But his name is Dean Spicer, so he's D. Spicer. And I have a real Donald Trump, which is my Trump spoof.
Yeah.
And I have them interact with each other. As well as the new suggestion for Secretary of Transportation, which is Mr. Limousine Fire, which is a limousine that's actually on fire.
Yeah.
It still hasn't gotten its Senate
approval yet?
Well, or even a hearing yet.
Yeah.
Because people keep on screaming, "Oh my God, there's a car! It's on fire!" I had that effect on people.
Yeah.
You doing okay, man?
Yeah, all right. I had that weird GMO-created flu that everyone's getting, and I haven't really gotten over it. And it's weird. It's nationwide, too. Everyone I know has been getting it.
I was out for 30 hours.
Yeah.
And Lars, who was supposed to do a Sineaters last week,
Yeah.
he couldn't do it because he was knocked out, and it was about 30 hours.
Yeah.
It happened with me while I was taking care of my daughter Gemma. She's 2. And we had some friends come over and take her because I was being a type 1 diabetic and the flu. It can get pretty...
And the hair is free, you know? Yeah.
Chances are that was from you.
Yeah. Could be, I don't know. I'm going gray. I guess I never disliked Twitter as much until now with the Donald Trump thing, because number one, like, I don't want a president who tweets, like his whole foreign policy. Yeah, you know, I don't want that weirds me out.
It's a simplistic tool.
Yeah.
I consider a tweet to be similar to a haiku.
Okay.
Because you have a finite form that it can be in, and sometimes you have to do some real linguistic, you know.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to have to. Earlier today, I shared because my new bacon technique is unstoppable.
Okay.
What you do is in a room temperature pan, and this only works with thick cut bacon. You lay the thick cut bacon on the bottom of the pan across, just a little bit of space in between it, and then pour water over it so it just barely submerges the bacon.
The bacon, okay.
Crank that up to set the heat to high, and just boil that water off. And what'll happen is the bacon absorbs that water.
All right.
And then once the water is about evaporated off, you drop it down to a 7, and then just cook it normally, turning it occasionally, and then it gets crispy until it's crispy on the outside.
Yeah.
And you pull it off a little bit before because it'll continue to cook after you take it off. But when you bite into it, you have that crispy outside, but you have a chewy, tender inside. So you have the best of both bacon worlds.
Yeah. It's still really unhealthy for you too, right? That's the main reason why I go for it.
Yeah. Oh, but it's just beautiful.
Yeah. All right.
And that's my new bacon technique. But when I put it into a tweet, I didn't have enough. So I was like, all right, well, there's a bacon emoji, so I can use that. That saves me 5 letters every time I have to use the word bacon.
Yeah.
And then heat, and then number symbols, that give the idea that's the oven settings, and I was able to get it down to 140 characters, complete with the at Travis Johnson, who I was sending it to at the time, because that also it's like oh, if I just announce it, but this was a personal request, and originally I wasn't even going to reveal it until like an episode of Sineaters, but
yeah. Yeah, next time we're Sineaters, we should go to like a nicer restaurant.
Oh yeah, we're hitting all sorts.
Okay,
yeah.
And find a day when I'm actually hungry.
Oh yeah. Well, this was an unscheduled Sineaters.
Yeah,
so it was like, hey, want to get some food? Hey, you know what? I want to keep my company to pay for it.
Yeah. But back on the whole Twitter thing, I did find Conan O'Brien, especially like when he first quit the Late Show. His Twitter account was one of the funniest things I'd ever seen.
My Twitter usage, I have to regulate it. I kind of go into sporadic periods of. Well, it's another writing environment.
Okay, yeah. Back to the Terminator. Did you like the Terminator TV show?
The Sarah Connor Chronicles, to be honest, it was during a period where I wasn't watching much TV, and it was just before streaming.
Okay.
So I've seen bits and pieces of it, but, and what I did see, I did enjoy, but I haven't had the time to commit to it. And that was kind of the beginning of where that was an experience where there was more media available than you had time to curate.
Pretty much, yeah.
Especially if you're going to have an active creative life yourself, because you can't just spend your entire time absorbing. You have to be, working. and I would have things playing in the background, or multitask on the subject.
Yeah.
So I would kind of catch it sometimes because it would be on Fox just before I'd go out.
Yeah.
Or the other thing is, I mean, while working in theater during like regular broadcast time, I was working at shows. I was sitting in the back of a theater, listening to a play.
Yeah, I liked it a lot, but my problem with it was a lot of TV shows and a lot of movies was that I thought the plot and the storyline was really cool, but the actors, like, it's hard for me to take like really skinny 5'3" actors seriously, like that they're carrying machine guns and beating people up. And the woman who played Sarah Connor just didn't. She wasn't as badass as the Sarah Connors in the movies. You know? Like you could actually believe that
Hamilton.
Yeah. That's my problem with a lot of the actors in a lot of TV shows, like especially in that show. Like there were these dudes who are like 5'4", and they're doing all these crazy kung fu shit and all that, and I was like, it's not believable,
Well, it's like you and I both worked pro wrestling gigs.
Yeah.
And there's their advertised height versus the real height.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, they don't have props; they have magic.
Yeah.
The truck's labeled magic, and they get kind of angry if you refer to. And to be honest, I mean, when people talk about wrestling is fake, it's like it's set up.
Yeah.
But people are hitting each other.
Oh, yeah.
People are throwing each other, and they're doing it in the most spectacularly, visual ways.
Yeah.
And getting stunned at just the right convenient times. It builds drama.
Yeah.
It is a great performing art.
Oh yeah, it's American ballet.
Yeah.
Well, it's the closest thing we have to art in this country.
And it's also given me the tools to try to figure out Trump, because Trump is a lot easier to understand once you realize that he's playing the role of a heel from a wrestling match.
Yeah.
And it's not like he hasn't been in it. Donald Trump has been on stage with professional wrestling. He's been written into the script. There's a great line with McMahon going, you know what, you may have the support of this audience, but 95% of this crowd are dumbasses.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize that until I did that Planet Hollywood opening at Mall of America years ago, because Tom Cruise was there, Arnold Schwarzenegger, all these big, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's not really that big either. He's maybe 3 inches taller than me. He's all built, but he wasn't this huge monster I thought he would be.
Yeah.
And of all those celebrities, he was hands down the nicest one of all the people, Very cordial, very cool.
Yeah, and I've always heard, that's what I've always heard.
Yeah,
He's, you see him in his younger asshole days, and in the pumping iron days, he was by today's moral standards an absolute fucking monster. But yeah.
And I didn't really follow him too much when he was the governor of California, but it seemed like he did some okay stuff with the state, I mean, as much as you can for California.
Which finally got rain.
Yeah.
And now they're all drowning.
Yeah.
Do you think? What do you think about California secession? The idea of California leaving the union.
I think it'd be awesome, And but then it is an act of war, though, if they do it. That's my problem. Because I remember, that's what I was told. Because
California's a republic, just like Texas. It has the right.
Okay. Because I remember when I first got into activism and got into anarchist politics and peace politics, in 1988 in Boulder, when I was in this place called the Shutdown House, because they were trying to shut down Rocky Flats, the one nuclear power plant in Colorado.
Yeah.
And all the people I was living with were calling themselves the Vermont family. Because it's in the Vermont Constitution that if they get enough of the vote, that Vermont can secede from the Union. So back in the late 80s, there was this huge movement of getting anarchists and peace activists to move to Vermont and set up local government and do all that. And that was a big deal. When I first got into politics in 88, 89, I was basically hanging out with the Vermont family.
Wow.
Yeah. And there was one guy from the Vermont family who lives here now, or has lived here, Krishna Dorney, or Felix von Havoc as he's known. But it also was brought up to us that if we did move to Vermont and seceded from the Union, it would be considered, it'd be considered treason and. But I remember what happened to that. I basically kind of fizzled out from talking to those people back in like the mid '90s. So it obviously didn't happen.
Yeah. I have a deep interest in little states like Sealand.
Okay.
It was a tiny country that's a platform off of the coast of Britain.
Okay.
That was an abandoned military post.
Okay.
And somebody landed on it and said, "This is its own sovereign nation."
Yeah.
And it, you know, right now I think it's a computer haven. There's a lot of servers on it.
Oh, okay.
So because it's its own sovereign nation, it's not
okay.
It allows an extra level of privacy.
Okay. I was wondering what you're getting at there. Okay.
But I guess at one point somebody, their pirates attacked it and took it over.
Yeah.
And then while the son was like on patrol, I think there's a father, a wife, and I think 2 sons at this point, and the father and one of the sons were on the English mainland. Pirates attacked while just the one boy was there, and then they had to come back in with a helicopter and rifles, and just they took the place back.
Okay,
they took the country back. Sealand.
All right.
And I guess there's another island up near Nova Scotia that is of questionable international sovereignty.
Okay. That's something I haven't looked into too much. I know there's 27 islands for sale right now. If you want to buy one.
I'm taking donations over at patreon.com/cultofthemonth.
Yeah, if you have that Mel Gibson money, because I know he's selling his island.
He doesn't use it as much anymore.
Yeah. Something too I don't really understand. You probably do, because what is net neutrality? Some people try to explain it to me. I tried reading on it. But
what net neutrality says is it basically means equal access.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It means that there's not a little packet going that goes, hey, priority.
Okay.
And what they want, when you break net neutrality, what it does is it allows organizations to set up and pay for express routes of information. And suddenly, one of the negatives of that is it takes away from the equal voice that is the net.
Okay.
You know, technically with my website, I could just be as powerful as a billionaire with their website. It's part of the democratization of technology.
Okay. Yeah.
And what net neutrality would, if you take away net neutrality, would allow priority to be given to those. Basically, it's pay to play.
Okay, all right. That's kind of what It's kind of what I thought, but no one ever sat down and explained it to me.
And the ones that would be an advantage too are those who could charge for it.
Yeah, because everyone
which is why the telecoms tend to go. It's like it's an entirely new cash stream.
Okay.
And what it does, it doesn't force innovation. One of their arguments is that it won't be a slower internet. It'll just be there'll be a faster, there'll be an express lane on top of it. It's like, and what that is actually it's like no, there'll be a stratification of it. There'll be a first class.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's not like as if they're going to develop some magic technology that makes things go faster than that the power of money unlocked.
Yeah.
It's just that they would prevent everybody from being able to access that.
Okay. I figured it was something they were screwing us out of again. The only people that were against net neutrality were just assholes I didn't like anyway, so yeah.
Ted Cruz.
It's kind of like when Jerry Fowler or Pat Robinson, anything they support, you know not to support it.
Yeah.
You're just like, I mean, they could be reading my mom's brownie recipe to me and I'm going to argue with them, 'Cause I'm like, I just don't trust you, Jerry Fowler. I don't trust any of you people.
Well, it's like my feeling on the Confederate flag. I feel that people should just, if they want to
let it go.
Let it go.
Get rid of it.
Well, if they want to display it, I'm all for it because it lets me know who the assholes are.
Yeah.
He's like, right here, right now.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, no. It's like, I remember my child was about 9 months old at the time, and we were flying from Syracuse, New York, to Chicago to Minneapolis.